Hello, hello. Here we are once again, another Saturday with the CNC brothers and sisters hanging out and chilling, talking about CNC routers and whatnot. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft. Welcome to the regular Wednesday chit chat where we talk about CNC routers
You
and
got
whatever
it.
else we want to talk about. Yeah. And Sister Kate sitting next to us. Say hi, Kate.
Yeah. What's up? How's it going tonight? Oh my gosh.
Mm.
I feel like we might be, some people might be in hibernation tonight. We've only got a few, I'm only seeing a few people popping on. How about you?
Yeah, we got Doug, Chris, and
Ellen.
Ellen. Hi, Ellen. I got to remember that's Ellen. I was trying to catch that name out of my head.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like these storms might be wreaking some havoc on our Wednesday night. So
could
it's
be.
just,
Yeah, I've noticed like a decline in sales. People are getting ready to go to school. Kids are going back to school, so it's. I mean, you're a
yeah.
mom. You know what it's like, right? You're chasing all that stuff down now, doing the school shopping, cramming that last little family thing in, what have you.
Yeah,
So, oh, look
absolutely.
at that. Now they're all coming on board saying hello.
Yeah, I see we've got some people popping in here. We've got Jen. She's saying, "Hey, what's up, girl?" Looks
Jen,
like Othaniel. I'm not sure. Hey, what's going on? I hope I did not slaughter your name. Please forgive me if I did. We've got
Nathaniel,
Bern.
yeah.
Um,
Keith,
let's see. We've got
Keith and
Mark.
Wade.
He's back. Yeah, Ralph, Dennis, Mike. It's like
There's
Jurgen.
Bruce. Yeah, Bruce from Nebraska. He's Facebook user. Hey, Bruce, you're on Facebook. All you have to do is underneath, right underneath the video, it should be say allow StreamYard to see your name if you want us to see your name, Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, guys, I'm not gonna lie, today has been a really long day. I have been out in the shop working like a crazy person today. I've had a new epoxy table I'm getting ready to set up. I've got some fire dancers from that Dave Matthews thing. I had a few people hit me up. I'm a big sucker to make those because I know I'm the only one that can make them for these wonderful people. So I've been making a few of those, and I've got some PVC back here on my CNC bed. Oh my gosh. I just want to tell you, I have been using the O flute bit from you, the eighth
Yeah.
inch on this PVC. Oh my gosh. The enormous difference that this stuff cuts. I mean, that O flute bit cuts through this PVC like butter. I am telling you what, I have had so much sanding in the past to do when I make these massive sunflowers. This one's 2.5 foot and it's 7 layers. So I have a lot of cutouts to do. And you can imagine every little sunflower has like 5 million little
Yeah.
pieces that I have to piece together. And I'm looking at this just standing back there like doing a little happy dance because I do not have to mess with 9 million hours of sanding. I'm just like life changing. And I can run it faster and I can run it deeper through the PVC because it's not like your traditional wood. It's that softer material. So I can run it so much faster. It's just amazing.
Yeah, the benefit with PVC, and I guess that's the family HDPE, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the urethane, the expanded urethane, what have you, all that
Yeah.
stuff cuts a lot easier.
Oh, so nice.
It's like once you go to that, it's like I don't ever want to cut wood again.
It really is because it literally just, I mean, it's like just a hot knife into butter. It's so ridiculous. If I had gotten the profile done out of one of the cutouts, I would have grabbed it and picked it up and showed you guys. But it's just ridiculous. Um, so
Yeah,
anyway,
one of
just
the
wanted to throw
benefits.
that
Yeah,
out
one of
there.
the benefits with that too, with some of those plastics is some of them are good for outdoors, right?
Yeah,
PVC not so good. It tends to break down in UV light over time, but
yeah,
some of the other ones do really well.
yeah. This
And
one
you can
is
make.
going. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Um,
Oh, I was just gonna say this is actually it's going in her screened-in patio. So and it's getting like a big I think she's gonna go with the big wooden backer on the back side of it, but Lord have mercy, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's good
There's
stuff.
another material out there for those of you who want to make outdoor products. It's called ACM, and it's called aluminum composite material. And it's PVC sandwiched between two thin sheets of aluminum. I've got a piece over here. But the good thing is you can get it in many, many different colors. It's a bit more expensive, but it's great for outdoors. So if you want to do a monogram, one of those big monograms,
Yeah, I
perfect
love
for the
those.
outdoors.
Okay, so it's called aluminum composite material?
ACM. Yeah, material.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find that. I'm going to see if I can find that piece. I'm going to step away from the mic for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. All right. Well, I'll finish saying hello to a few people. Let's see. We've got Jason, Mark, Edie is back. Dan. Hey, Dan, we missed you last week, brother. Let's see. We've got Andy Chapman from North Dakota. Welcome. Looks like we have a few new people on here. So welcome, everyone, to the Wednesday Night Live with me, Kate Tucker, and Garrett, who is currently looking for something.
Did I hear Dan is back? I missed him last week, too.
Yeah, Dan is back.
Yay,
Let's see.
hello, Dan.
Yeah, Mad Dog is back. Hello, hello.
Hey, Mad Dog, what's going on? That's the guy that did all the video shooting for me. I got one of those videos out. I think I told you with a Phantom, but it's going to take a few weeks to get the rest of them out. We were talking about ACM.
Yes, let's see some of that.
Aluminum composite material. So this is it right here. And so this is a very thin sheet of aluminum here, and it's a very thin sheet of aluminum on the other side. Now it's painted black.
All right.
And it's a PVC, so it doesn't get subject to sunlight. And these things are excellent outdoor products, materials.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a really dumb question. When you lifted it up and you said it was black, is that the front? So is that like where you would choose your, like, does it come in a variety of colors? So like that one's black. Could you get it in red or whatever color you wanted?
Yeah, there's a ton of colors you can get it in. And I believe it's black on both sides.
Oh,
so I got that because I wanted to test the O-flutes out on that as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what my next question is going to be. Do you think the aluminum would give the O-flute a challenge, or it'd be good for it?
So, it depends on the rigidity of your machine, but because the aluminum is so thin on that, it doesn't really create a lot of resistance to it. So
even better.
So it really doesn't matter what machine you're running, unless you're running a desktop machine.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Well, I was just going to finish saying hello to a few people. Did you have something?
Oh, no, you just wanted, you Kate and I haven't talked much this past week, but she just called me like 15 minutes before. She said, hey, you got to let them know if I drop out, man, it's because we got a lot of storms. I mean, when you look on radar right now over our area, it's nothing but a big green mass. And I had to run outside and get my Jeep covered. I don't see rain outside yet, but I don't see clear clouds either. So I think it's coming my way.
Yeah, it is literally like a big red cell. And then, I mean, it's just like downpouring, like hard downpour. I can hear from like my shop, my shed on the other side of where my shop is. It's not insulated. And it just sounds like tornado out there. But it always does in a metal building. It sounds insane.
Yeah, it's just, that's like zoomed out. That's like 3-4 states right there.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're all just getting hammered.
Yeah, and for those in Texas and Hawaii, getting some fires now, right? My brother lives in Hawaii, and he doesn't live on the Maui, but Maui's having some pretty serious fires right now.
Oh,
of all places, Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's. Any questions, or do you want to say hi to some more people?
I haven't seen any questions.
82 of us on their board.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's make it a good one. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that all Wi-Fi signals stay solid and we're good to go. All right. So I've got Wade here. He says, I've been using Acre from Modern Mills, and it's made of rice husks, and it's great for outdoors and cuts like butter. Been
What is it?
using.
What's the
It's at
time?
806. It's weighed.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure if maybe that was a misspelling or let's see. Let's see what he says here.
ACRE, so that's the material type, I guess. You have to
Okay.
look it up.
Yeah.
Aluminum composite. I'm going to assume it's aluminum composite something or other.
All right. Modern Mills is who it's from. All right. We'll have to look it up. I'm just making a couple notes here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Madra said, nasty storms are coming our way. She's in Wisconsin. Thank you for sharing the recording. So nice to know that if the power goes, she can still watch it later. So yes, I did have a lot of questions in our group about if these are actually recorded, and they are. Garrett actually has them on our YouTube channels at like the very top, or I'm sorry, like under where the image is, it has a bunch of tabs. And if you click on where it says like playlist, videos, lives, you can actually scroll underneath that tab, and then it will show you every live from every Wednesday. So if you ever do want to go back and watch some of the ones you missed, you can do that as well.
Yeah, the way you do that is you'll go to YouTube, you'll search, and then you'll type in IDC Woodcraft, and that will bring up the main channel page.
Yes.
And then click that, the main channel page, or like with Kate's, and then you'll see that where it says videos, live, playlists, on and on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's see. We've got Kevin says hello from Central Florida. We've got a Facebook user from the Caribbean.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
I know where I'm going next. I know it's CNC Creator. I'm going to visit next.
Yeah,
Screw you, Kate. I'm not coming up to Indianapolis. I'm going to the Caribbean.
That's okay. Peace out. I won't be here either. I'll be in the Caribbean.
Well, okay. You'll meet me there.
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
Beach drinks ready, brother.
Yes, yes. Oh gosh, let's see. Oh, Dan says, sorry. He says sorry he wasn't here last week. He was getting ready for a whirlwind road trip to Indianapolis. For those of you who do not know Dan, he is from Canada, so that's going to be a little bit of a drive for him. So I wonder, Dan, you'll have to let us know where, if you're on the road, if you're currently like here, because we would definitely have to meet up and say hey or do whatever. So
yeah. Okay, well, we got a question here already from Mark.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Bring it up. Yeah, 3D carving, the times I've been playing with my bits, and I am going to use and the times do change big time. Now, are these times correct? I know there's a factor. Do you have any info that he can read up? Okay, so the question is 3D carving time, basically. So the software is going to tell you one time, and you're going to get drastically a different time when you're doing 3D carves. You've noticed that, haven't you, Kate?
Yes. Yes, very much.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this carve right here, the software said that it would take 2.5 hours. It took 9 hours.
Yeah, I don't know why. I have honestly yet to figure that out, but I know you've had some experience in this.
Yeah, I can explain why 3D carves take a lot of extra time. It's purely in the mechanics of the machine. So the software is calculating for rapid motion and the feed rate, and that's what is taken into account. What is not taken into account in a 3D carve, that the CNC router, it's not taking into account deceleration and acceleration times. So as it's going through a profile contour and it's coming down like that, and it's got to change direction, it's got to decelerate and then reaccelerate, right? So when you're doing 3D carves, the more complex they are, the longer it's going to take because of all that slowing down and speeding back up. That's why you see that time. It's anybody here can, let's see, he's on YouTube. So if you want to dialogue with each other and talk a little bit about it, then you'll have to be on the YouTube feed on the IDC Woodcraft channel.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, we were talking about, I was talking with one of my students this week. We're actually kind of talking about that, but not in the context of a 3D carve and how fast he can run the machine. And I said, you can, put the feed, you can up the feed rate, but if you have a lot of like ups and downs in your carves, the machine doesn't ever have that potential to raise that full speed. So I think that project is a great example of that.
Yeah, I had the bit set at 400 inches per minute. So when it's doing these straight runs along the edge, I mean, it was just really fast. But once it started getting into the contours, it was like, good Lord, would you just get across the machine one time?
You're like, forget it. I just okay, I just have to walk away. This is just boring.
Right.
Oh, let's see. Okay, so Christian says, oh, he must have approved the Facebook. He says, I'm from the Caribbean. I love to cut PVC. I know it's just addicting to watch because it's just so smooth. Okay.
Got a Facebook user here at 8:10.
Yeah. He says, or she says, hey, I need to cut a 3/16 slot 1-inch deep in aluminum, 7/8 inch long, using a single flute cutter. Think of taking a 5/64 depth at about what feed should I use? I have to read that one again.
What feed rate should you use? And so number one, it depends on the machine. Number two, it depends on the router bit that you're using. You're using a single flute, so using an O flute. This is going to be
1 inch deep in aluminum.
Yeah, and 3/16 wide slot. So feed rate on aluminum, if your machine is rigid enough, I'm going to say about 40 inches per minute. And if you want to go at 5/64 steps, so that's about that much, not too much. You want to use lubricant. And one of the things when you're cutting aluminum, you want to cut your slot along the middle, and you want to make sure you leave material on both sides of that slot, so that when you come back in, you'll do a climb cut on one side through it and then come back in a climb cut on the other. And what that does is that'll leave a clean edge along your slot. If you try to hog out the whole slot, you're going to get bit deflection, and your slots, it's going to be kind of a messy cut. Aluminum is not something that likes to separate from itself.
Yeah, I am not an aluminum cutter, so I'm just sitting here going, learning, shaking my head.
I'm pulling back from my machining days. I cut aluminum twice on the long mill here, and it's you got to have a rigid machine to do that.
Well, I'm glad you have that experience to bring to our viewers, because that is not something I am privy to. But I will soak up the information. How about that?
Yes.
All right.
We all get better. We all get better. You know what? This is what I like about doing these Wednesday nights, and those who join us and they start sharing their knowledge, and me and Kate are going, "Oh, I didn't know that." You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we all get to share, and it's kind of like a hangout.
Yeah, it really is. I have seen, we have a new user in our Facebook Women Who CNC group. And oh my gosh, she just posted some of the most gorgeous 3D carves I have seen. I was like, you are a rock star, sister. Those are amazing. So I hope she shares them in other groups as well, because they were beautiful.
All right. Well, talk about Women Who CNC.
Yeah, so we've got for any women who are new to the Wednesday Night Live, I have a Facebook group called Women Who CNC, obviously on Facebook. It's a growing group, great group of women. We've got some brand new women to the group, some who work with their husbands. We've got some experts. Ellen is a fantastic moderator in our group. She's constantly posting and keeping answering people's questions. I just love it. It's so fantastic. Thank you, Ellen, for doing that. And it's a really great group of girls. Or women, sorry, not girls. Hopefully we'll get some young girls in there to help, maybe start some new trends with bringing some younger women into the industry a little bit. So I'd love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, very cool. So, so a Facebook group, Women Who CNC, that's Kate's group, and
Got it.
it's women only. Now, if you are here for the first time, then there is links in the descriptions of this video. If you're in Facebook, up above is a description, and it'll have links, and one of them is to Women Who CNC. And if you're in YouTube, just below the video, just below the thumbs up button that we hope you will press, is a little sentence, and that sentence you click the word more on, and that'll expand the description, and the links will be in there. The group that I have run is CNC Entrepreneurs, so you may want to join that group too. So there'll be other links as well. We had a comment here from Kenny, who said he loves the diamond drag bit. So, do you have that, Kate? Do you have that bit, Kate?
I do not. I really do not. I have never messed with any type of acrylic. I know there's two types of acrylic. One is good for that and one is not. But I've seen some really cool projects, but I've never personally messed with it. I feel like I have dabbled in a little bit of everything except for messing with acrylic.
Right. Okay. Well, if you get the right tool, you can engrave on acrylic, and acrylic are the LED signs that you can make.
Yes.
And by the way, acrylic, it's not good to cut plexiglass. Plexiglass is too flimsy. You want to use cast acrylic.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But you get the right one. The one that I have can engrave on metals such as aluminum, brass, steel. You can engrave on glass, and you can engrave on granite.
Okay.
So it's an industrial grade bit that I inventory. It's a WidgetWorks brand. I'll share it. I'll show you in the screen if I can find my where's the window for that. Oh, it's not showing up where I can bring it in. I'll cancel that and try that again. Yeah. Let's see what we can do. Oh, there it is.
Well, while you're looking that up, so that ACRE is a polymer blend material.
Oh, okay.
So that's what Wade is saying, and it's called ACRE. So very cool. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
The diamond drag bit. So that's it right there. It's an engraving bit, and so this, thanks to one of our CNC brothers, let me use his pictures. This is something he engraved with that bit on granite.
Wow.
And this one is done in glass.
Oh, wow. That's neat. I've seen people make all kinds of stands for them and make really cool gifts for, like, you know, grandkids or memorials and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things go together, but
yeah. Well, thank you for the boost on that bit. It's not an inexpensive bit. The reason I inventoried that one, the WidgetWorks one, it's an industrial level bit as opposed to some of the other ones you find on Amazon. I've worked through the reviews on virtually every one of them, and all the diamond bits are great for acrylic. But it's when you want to get into glass and granite, they break right away. They can't handle it. They're not, the adhesive on the diamond tip to the body is not a good adhesive, or they didn't do it right. The WidgetWorks, the WidgetWorks, they sell to Campbell Soup, the largest can manufacturer, soup company, right? They sell to General Motors, and they also sell to NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And if anybody here has worked in aerospace, you know how the hoops someone has to jump through in order to be able to work on that. I worked in a aircraft supply. Yeah, I worked briefly in an aircraft company that made components for a jet engine. Paper trail for everything. You cannot sign or touch anything unless you have certification.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a very expensive process. That's why planes cost $40 million.
Yeah, and I'm glad they do, because I want them to know they're really safe. Um, okay, so let's. So we've got Steven at 810. That's okay if it's been asked before. That's what we're here for. But what are good materials to use for your spoil board? Many people choose MDF as their choice of spoil board. You can use pine. I guess it really just depends on what type of spoil board you have. I know Garrett has a vacuum table on his Phantom. So you've got MDF underneath your vacuum piece as well, right?
My vacuum. Yep, there's MDF under there. MDF or micro density fiber is the most common material that people use. It's inexpensive, relatively speaking, and it's consistent in its density. So you can cut into it and it still works everywhere else. I have seen people use HDPE or PVC. The thing with MDF, it can absorb moisture, and when it does that, it'll expand. Right. So that's something I experience here. I may actually go to a PVC spoil board.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I know with your vacuum table, you have to seal the MDF with the sanding sealer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to seal the edges of
bond. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have a vacuum table, you have to seal the edges of the MDF just because the air is going to take the path of least resistance, and the least resistance is in the middle of the MDF.
Yeah.
So there you go. Those are the two that I would consider. If you're in a very humid environment that loses humidity, you will experience changes in your spoil board.
Yeah. The main thing with spoil boards is to surface them.
Mm-hmm.
Surface and put a good grid on it. It'll save you tons of time.
Yes.
So, all right. I see Mike asked a question about best bit for engraving aluminum. I think we just kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yep.
So,
yeah, so if you want to engrave, yeah. Oops. I'm just going to go back into that website. Yeah, if you want to engrave like lettering and stuff, then it's going to be this guy right here, diamond drag bit. If you want to cut aluminum, we're talking a different story. And because I haven't done a lot of testing with aluminum, I'm not going to offer any suggestions other than I have done 3D carving with the taper ball nose.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I forgot what I was going to say there. Okay. Let's pop on to the next question. Jen has a good question. She says, I have an embarrassing question considering I've been CNCing for almost 2 years. Girl, there are no embarrassing questions. You should know that by now. We all have embarrassing questions. Most of what I do is popping small blanks against a fence for carving so I don't bother homing. Is that okay? I mean, I don't always home my machine every single time. Like, I might do it every so often, but I don't know if there's like, I don't know, Mr. Technical Man, what do you think? Is it significant that you need to home your machine every single time, or?
If it works for you, it works for you. Right?
Yeah.
If it works, it works.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Oh, no, sorry. That's my answer.
Yeah, if it works for you, works for you.
It's okay. If it's working, it's okay. Your machine
betcha.
Isn't screaming at you.
Yeah, it'll let you know, I promise.
Right.
All right.
So let's kind of just rehash for those who have popped on board. This is an every Wednesday evening, hour and a half show that Kate and I do, and we are starting to talk about bringing guests on board. We had Kyle Ely a couple weeks ago. I want to bring Mark Lindsay on board one of these times. But so we're here to answer your CNC questions. I'm the technical guy, and IDC Woodcraft, sell router bits. Kate is a master sign maker, and she is getting badass with that epoxy. I can't wait for this table that she's making me. I've commissioned her to make me an awesome coffee table, and she's a sign maker as well. She's been in has run business for quite a while. Now Kate is venturing into new space now, and
Yeah.
very, very proud of her. We did a series of mentoring. So if you're interested in CNC business, you may want to go to those live sessions and go through it, because they're a pretty deep dive. It gives you a
Yes.
completely new understanding of what business is about.
Oh my
The,
gosh.
the, the yeah, the word is, when it comes to business, you don't know what you don't know until you go into that journey. And
Absolutely. I felt like
yeah,
a lost camel wandering around in the desert, and you like kind of just like boop, like you like in Mario or something, where just like random characters like pop into play, and they were like, "Oh, here, hey on, here's a lost camel. Let me go lead him to some water." Like that's kind of how I feel like you say being everywhere. I was all over the place, and you will see that from talking and working with me now versus where I was when I started my mentoring almost a year ago is just like 360 degrees different mindset of what I need to be doing and where I am now. So I would highly recommend getting yourself a mentor if you need one. So if you're really serious about getting into business, because they will give you a point of view and a perspective that you never knew you needed until you have that perspective, and then you go, whoa, that's going to transform everything that I do and everything that I think about.
so let's, for those who are interested in doing a business or trying to start a CNC business. So Kate, not so long ago, you were in a space where most people are, and then you started going through some aha moments. So can you give some comparisons from your own experience of what the way you were thinking then versus the way that you think now when it comes to business, and how you're approaching business now?
Yeah, I was really, first of all, I was very, this is just a very honest answer here. I was very money focused. I was not, I was always looking how to make the next buck, the next project, the next hustle. I was not allowing myself to be receptive um, to the gifts that I was putting back out into the world. I really felt like I was just grasping at every single thing, and now I've just been really openly, I've always helped people, but now I give more of my time, and that I feel like God rewards me for my efforts that I put back out to help other people. Um, if you're not a Christian, that's okay. You can, believe that gifts will come back to you from the universe. Um, but I am just really floored at how much I let go. I felt like I was like death gripping every single thing that I was doing. I had to have such a tight hold on just micromanaging every aspect of my business, and I was just like, let it go. Just be like Elsa, just let it go. And it will come to you, because I was all over the place. I wanted to do epoxy. I was making signs. I was doing custom work. I really had no direction. And Garrett said something to me. He said, if you're trying to sell to everyone, you will sell to no one. And that's exactly what I was doing. I had no direction, and my business was showing that. People were like, okay, what do you do? I'm like, well, I make signs. They're like, okay, well, there's like 82 different types of signs that you do. So what do you do? And if I was not clear, I had no direction. I was, you know, I was lost. And so in doing the business mentoring, I had to dig down deep into myself, and I had to learn to be self-aware of what I was doing and who I was trying to sell to and what I was putting out there into the world. And what I figured out is I was really lost. I didn't have a direction. I was just out here hustling and doing things, and I was putting that out into the world. This business was lost. It was just circling. I was just chasing my tail in constant perpetual circles. It was never going anywhere. It's kind of like I don't know who said it, but the the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. And that's exactly what I was doing. And so now I know who I am working with. I know who I would want to sell to if I were, who my ideal client is, and what my niche is. So, and I've identified those pain points in me and who I want to help. And that's why I created the group Women Who CNC, because I identified pain points in myself of wanting to learn, but being afraid of how to ask for help. And for the lack of sounding, unprofessional, I didn't want to sound stupid for asking basic CNC questions, but also getting made fun of for asking those questions in certain groups. And I just got really intimidated and frustrated, and part of me just kind of shut down. So I wanted to build something for women to feel safe and to feel a space in, and not only that, but to teach and to guide men and women alike and how to be there for people and how to show up, and not only show up for them, but to show up for myself and to make myself accountable. So sorry for that lengthy little stint, but I really feel passionate about it. So, and I'm so thankful that Garrett took that time to do that with me. And if you're lost and that sounds something like you, go watch that mentoring season and ask yourself those same questions that he's asking me. And I feel like you will really have some growth.
Yeah. Business is not about you and what you need. It's about, at the end of the day, being adding value. It's, the more you add value, money is a byproduct of adding value to others.
Yep.
So, and that's the word in business. All right. We got a couple other questions here. Thank you, Kate, for sharing that.
Yeah.
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 I think the summary there is, business is not what most people think it is. And it's not just trying to do stuff. It's a different mindset. It's understanding a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
okay.
So I saw something, looks like Christian Dowden at 811. He is asking for the settings for a 20-degree engraving bit.
I couldn't tell you. I don't even touch that bit.
Yeah, I've never used a 20-degree.
Yeah. That I would go with what this in the IDC Woodcraft app. I would try the go to the 30-degree engraving bit and bump your settings down a little bit. I had a 20-degree and the tip broke immediately because it's just too fine.
Yeah, I wonder what you're trying to do with a 20-degree. I feel like, I know when I first started my CNC journey, I felt like the steeper of angle was going to give me the best result. So I was looking at the 15 and the 20-degree bits, and then I realized I did not need those. So,
Yeah.
Drop us a comment. Let us know what you're working on.
Yeah. I see no reason to have a 20-degree V bit or engraving bit in the CNC router industry. None whatsoever. It's too fine. I mean,
Yeah,
sure you
tiny.
can use it, but I'm just looking at the settings in the IDC Woodcraft app. So that
Yeah.
IDC Woodcraft app is free. It has all the CNC router bits on the IDC Woodcraft store. You got it for Android and for
iPhone.
Apple. Yep, iPhone, and it'll have all the router bit settings in it. So I'm going to
Yeah.
the 30-degree, and for inch settings with the Makita router, the trim router on MDF, let's change that to Pine. And your feed rate would be 35. I would bump that down to 25.
Yeah.
So links for the app is also in the description above for Facebook, and down below in YouTube, in the description of YouTube.
There you go. All right.
But I would be interested, whoever, let's see. So this one's coming off of Facebook, and I can't really tell what Facebook channel Christian, you're in. I'm going to assume CNC Entrepreneurs, but anybody who's on that channel and sees that comment, maybe, and you have a 20-degree bit, maybe you can explain how you use it.
Yeah. All right. So Mr. Eric Bryant, he is asking about the feather inlay video. Final surface cutter pass, not deep enough to finish. Reran surface G-code and re-zeroing the axis every time, but wanted to take deeper cuts. Best way to do this semi-manually.
So the feather inlay video, the final surface cutter does not cut deep enough to finish. You re-zeroed it. I'm assuming you're using the V carve. Okay, have you done inlays?
I've messed with it a little bit.
Okay. Oh, he's talking about a video I made, so.
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about, it sounds to me like he's talking about the surfacing, like when he's finished and he's trying to surface it off. Final surface cutter pass, not deep enough to finish. So,
and he's re-zeroing every time.
I feel like that would make it deeper. You know what I mean? I feel like that would make it deeper, because if you're if like you zero it and then you cut it and it's not deep enough and then you re-zero, it would just keep taking off more. Because if you zero and then just adjust your depth within Vectric, it would just take it down. So if you had it like 0.03, it would go down, and then you leave your 0 and you take it like 0.06, it would go down another 0.3.
Yeah.
0.3 of
an
inch.
Saying final cutter pass not deep enough to finish. Then at the end it says want to take deeper cuts. Best way to do this semi-manually. So what I would do semi-manually is okay, so we're thinking surfacing, but if you're actually cutting inside around the feather, you can't really do it semi-manually. But if you're surfacing, you can bring the bit down manually, turn the router on, and just use your control software and move it across the material at the level that you want. I believe he's talking about final surfacing, so it's actually cutting it down so that the full inlay finally comes to light.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Okay. Yep, I would take it down manually and then to the point that you want, and then use your control software and set your speed for your left, right, up and down, whatever, and then manually, just using the control software, hit your Y plus and let it run across. Be careful though, because you could be in a very fast rapid and run right into the project.
Yeah,
so always test first when you do
that's kind of what I was thinking. Like,
yeah,
need to be really care. All right, so let's see here. All right, Wade gave us a great comment.
ACRE. Eco-friendly building material. It looks and feels like wood, but outperforms wood in longevity, workability, and sustainability. I want to check it out. Wade, send me an email with a link. I want to see.
Yeah,
this stuff
absolutely. That sounds pretty cool. Okay, let's see, Craig. Do you recommend a live class for novices? So since you are a beginner or inexperienced, I think Kyle's class would be really great for you. Garrett has a link since you're in YouTube. Go check out the links that he has. It's for Kyle Eli. It's learnyourcnc.com. He has a full course from everything from brand new beginner all the way down to Aspire in 3D carves, and it walks you all the way through it. So there is that option if you are interested in taking that course. If you want more of a personal one-on-one, I actually do one-on-ones. You can schedule with the links above or below. If you're in Facebook, I do one-on-ones. Basically, it will email a little bit back and forth before what you want to know. If there's specific things or a specific project you're trying to work on, I can help you walk through those. But if not, we can just start at the beginning and work our way down and go through those. I do it by the hour. So if you're interested in those, check that link out. But those would be the two things I think Garrett and I would probably recommend for you since you're new.
Yeah, the classes that Kyle offers is Vectric, It'll
Mhm.
run you through Vectric, whether you have Cut 2D, VCarve, or Aspire. You'll
Yeah.
know. um, and that is linked above in Facebook and down below um, in YouTube. I do strongly encourage people to take that who are relatively new if you have the Vectric software. It literally is going to walk you through everything. And
Yeah.
it's like anything else, right? One-on-ones are great. And if you're ever stuck in a project, hire Kate. She will work you through it.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to do some finish work and you don't understand, she will help you with that as well.
Yep.
Um, if you want to get good with your software and understand all the ins and outs of the Vectric software, take Kyle's course. Just do it. Right. As we
Just
how much money have we spent on our CNC routers? I got a $10,000 machine here, right? I've got
lots.
a $2,000 machine there, right? And how many of us will get all this equipment, spend all this money, and then we'll beat ourselves up trying to get to the design stuff,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hands
But a class,
down.
yeah.
Yes.
But a class for novices, Kate, that might be something we might want to consider. It's doing a weekend thing. If you got room at your barn, if you're willing to put up, I'm looking for property here to do that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. For classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that would be awesome. I would love that. I think that would be so fun. I love to teach. I know you're a natural born teacher. I love to teach. Um, I love to teach new beginners. That's kind of where my passion is. I love
Yeah,
just because I love seeing their faces. I love seeing the first products, um, and just watching them grow. I
yeah,
call me that's I mean, I'm a mom of 4, so watching babies grow is where my heart's at. So watching people grow in the CNC business is I love it. It makes me so happy.
yeah.
All right.
Because okay, go ahead.
No, no, go
What's
ahead.
next?
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to say, just because for those who have done it, you already know, right? You're coming into something you don't understand, and then you create this thing, and then you're holding it in your hand, going, "I did all this," and you know what? Though I I read a message today in a Facebook post, and someone said, "Oh, that doesn't take any skill. That's not woodworking," and I mean those. Where they can go, right? It's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
clue, no clue, and it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with that anyway. Okay, what's next, Kate?
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna scoot back up for just a hot second. So it looks like we have a first-time watcher. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. I just wanted to say hello. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Live. I hope you'll come back and join us next weekend. I just like to give
Welcome.
our first-time people a hello.
Yep,
And we
everybody
try to,
say yes. Got another one here.
yeah, yeah. All right. So let's see. Um, oh, Christian says he's in Trinidad and Tobago. Come visit, all expenses paid. He is in the Caribbean.
Oh,
So,
all right. Oh, we
well,
just got an invite. I think that's an
I know.
invite.
I think that would be rude to decline, don't you?
Yeah, I think it would be extremely rude.
Extremely
All
rude.
right, let's get that
All
on the
right,
calendar.
especially with Indiana winters coming. I don't know about you, but I could like just scoot away and come back when it's done.
All right, let's work on a plan.
I know it.
We'll be
All
doing it.
right. So Mark Myers, he made a quick comment. He is talking about one of mine says 100 hours for a 3D carve. We were talking about his 3D carves earlier. That
Yeah.
must be one heck of a project.
Yeah, I've got a video that talks about the time settings in the Vectric software and some things you can
Hmm.
do to cut down on the carve time. I don't
Yeah.
remember the name of the video, but I'll see if I can
I
look it up while you're digging up.
yeah. I know the number one thing in that video that I took away that I try to tell all of my students that when they're new is under the preview settings, there is, I'm not, sorry, it's not the preview, it's the time. When you click on the little button with the clock on it, there is, I think it's your rapid rate and your scale factor. Vectric automatically defaults to a 2, and if you change that
Mhm.
to a 1, your time will literally get cut in half. Not that 50 hours would be like, an insane improvement, but definitely cuts the time in half. But just keep in mind that that's just because that's what Vectric says, does not necessarily what the machine is going to tell you as well. So you're still going to have that little bit of battle on your hands.
Yeah, I'm going to try to bring up. I've been working on a video for 4 days now.
That's a lot of time.
And it is, but it's one of those videos. It's for brand new beginners who just got the Vectric software, and it walks
Okay.
them through how to design this little simple project, and just get you kickstarted.
Yeah.
So that'll be released in a few days, and then I'll have a PDF with that. But let's go to the time. So in the toolpath side, which is on the right side, there's a little clock. When you click the clock, the time shows up for each toolpath.
Mm-hmm.
And right down at the bottom, there's a thing that says scale factor. And that's what Kate was talking about. It says defaults at 2 in the Vectric software. Change it to 1. Scale factor is just I don't even know. To me, it should be a 1. But it doesn't always come true when it's dealing with 3D carves.
Yep.
Also, your router feed rate, you can think about bringing that up, increasing the feed rate, particularly on your finishing, on your final cut, and get the beast right, the beast of the hog. All right, that'll cut out a lot of your roughing time.
Yeah. An enormous amount of time, like stupid amount of time. Trust me. I know. I've done a lot of things with the beast and a lot of things with the hog. Personally, I just want to say I want to say one thing about both of those bits. I love the fact that the hog gives you the depth, because I was talking with one of my students, and he was wanting to do that 3D carve where it has the lab that comes up, and then, the lab's holding the fish and he's swimming in the water. And we were talking about doing roughing, and, the lab comes up out of the water. And we were talking about he's like, well, could I use my beast bit? And I said, well, in this instance, it would probably be better to use the hog bit because of the length on it. Because what a lot of people don't take the time to consider, even you called me out on this when I was doing a really complex 3D carve, was the length of the bit depending on the material. And when you're roughing all that out and you get so down in there, you almost need longer bits to do some of those 3D carves. So I love that the beast has that really strong, rigid durability, but the hog is longer, so you can still do a lot of those 3D carves and get the majority of the material out of the way, so you can still continue to do what you want to do, even if you have a thick project.
Yeah, that's why I offer the beast and the hog as a set as well. So, but
Yeah.
you're Johnny on it, Kate. You're Johnny on it. I'll show you the video that talks about the time, so you'll know what to look for.
Yeah.
And so it's this one on top, and I just did a search for Vectric time CNC IDC, and you will come up with this video right here. And that will talk to you about how to cut your time down significantly.
Very cool. Very cool. It's a great video. You should go check it out. All right. Let's see. Okay. So Chris at 8:15, we have got to scoot along here. Otherwise, we're not going to get to all of our questions. Yeah. I know it. We've been doing a lot of yakking tonight. So Chris says, I'm thinking of doing some challenge coins. How would you recommend securing? Will CA tape be strong enough for a 40mm coin?
Are they metal? Or are they wood? Never heard of a challenge coin.
I'm thinking they're probably wood. Personally, if it were me, Chris, I would set them up in a grid, almost like a template format, and I would use maybe like 1 or 2 tabs, and then I would just take them to your router table, or how I hand router them and use some 3D tabs, so they're like really, they're really small profile, or you could just use like oh gosh, I'm trying to think. It's like your sander, but it's got like a round sander. I can't think of the life of me for what the darn thing's called. I've got it sitting underneath here under my desk, and I was using it earlier this week.
Okay, well, I just
Spindle
brought this up.
sander. Yeah, spindle
Spindle
sander.
sander.
There you go.
So looking here, challenge coins, they look like they're metal.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people make them out of wood, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think just by looking at this, even if you're making it out of metal, CA glue will probably work on that because it's not a deep hard cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very
Okay.
cool. You'll have to show us some pictures, Chris. That'd be
Yeah,
fun to keep
send
up with.
pictures. I want to see. I want to see them.
Okay. So Dan says, I wish I could have made the time to meet up. He was the one who drove down here from Canada, but had just enough time to get there, pick up what I came for at Gen Con, and get back home. It was exhausting. That would be exhausting. Well, I'm glad you made it back home safe. I'm glad you got to come down and share some of our weather with us.
All right. Eric is asking about this dragon carve.
And he also wants to know what bit.
Yeah. So holding that up that way. So I use the IDC fine detail tapeable nose.
Okay.
I'll show you. I'll bring it up. Where are we? Right there. And I just got to bring it up on the website so I can, let's see, 3D carving.
So what would you charge for something like that?
That project?
What would be your final price is what he's asking.
Oh, is that what he's asking?
Yeah.
I thought he said what final bit did I use in the piece?
It says what I misread that.
But that's still a good question too. We'll answer that question. I'll show you the bit real quick.
I don't know how I missed that.
But I got to share that screen. And let's go to that. It would be, so it's this bit right here, the fine detail 3D carving bit. It's got an 0.45 radius on it, 10-degree taper.
Very nice.
Yep. Okay.
It's a pretty bit.
Yeah. So it took 9 hours, remember, on that kind of detail. What would you charge for something like that? What do you think, Kate? I think we should have put some guesses out there before we answer it. What would you charge on a finished project that has that much detail in it, and you do the finish work on it as well?
Yeah, the finish work. I mean, I saw that piece in person before you did finish work on it. By the way, it looks incredible. So you said 9 hours of CNC carving. Did you create the file or did you buy it?
I bought the file.
Okay.
It's on Maple.
Okay.
And then we got to make it look however we need to make it look. So I'm going to put it to people in the group here. All right. Take a guess at what you would charge for something like that. And what is your justification? Why would you charge that? And then we'll come back to that.
Okay. All right. Let's keep. All right. Edie says a decking made from rice. Podcast video discussion on ACRE by Modern Mills. That is a fantastic idea, my friend.
Yeah, I think we'll just watch one of the. I think they got a video. Modern Mill has a video. A YouTube channel, and I think I watched one today. Hey, Dion's here.
I see that. Hey, friend. All right. Let's see. We've got David. He is asking an excellent Vectric question. Can you delete guides? Example, I have 25 guides and want to delete 15 specific lines at one time. Ooh. You know, that is a really good question because I was actually doing some design work and I had a bunch of like long sentences and I had like a bunch of them too, and I was like, God bless, I just want to like delete this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and I had to go in and manually delete each one. But that'd be a good question. We could email Kyle and see if there's a way to do that.
I'm just trying to do that right now, and I can't select all guides.
Mm-mm.
But I will say, rather than right-clicking each guide to delete it, just drag it back off the page. Grab it and drag it off. That might be a little bit faster, and
Yeah,
that little click, 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 trying to find the buttons and whatnot.
yeah, that's a good idea. I think that's what I wound up doing actually, is I was just like moved them out of the way or whichever way they're
That's a good
going.
question.
Yeah.
Have to check with Kyle on that one.
Yeah. I know up in the kind of in between the two grids on the corner, there's like the little, like, it looks like a little dotted cross in between the two grid lines in the top left corner. You can click on that and that will make them all go away, but I don't know about selecting like 15 lines or something.
Ooh, I want to show, because this is one of the things that most people don't know about
Okay.
if you're
Yeah,
using
go for it.
guides. So yeah, that's great. I'm so glad you brought that up, Kate. Okay, I'm
Good.
going to bring out a bunch of guides, lines.
Yeah, you might show them what you're doing because it looks like you're
Okay,
just going
yeah,
crazy
thank
with
you.
lines.
Okay, so if you want to create, if you want to get some guidelines in your project, then just for giving yourself some exact measurements and whatnot, you can bring your mouse up into the scales, either the scale on the left or the scale on top. Hold your left mouse button down and drag out, and now you have a guideline. And you can right click on that guideline and you'll get a pop-up menu, and you can position that guide exactly where you want to position it. So I'm not going to dive
It's so
deep into
nice.
that. Yeah, and you can change the angle. So this guide is at 90 degrees right now, and I'm going to change that to 45 degrees. So I'm going to just change it to 45 and apply that. And now we have changed that guide to 45 degrees.
Yeah.
I've got a video on guides too that shows you how you can do exact positioning of the guides to get exact measurements and whatnot. So
This is literally my favorite thing as a sign maker when I'm making, like, I just made well, it's back here, it's actually, I carved it out of the PVC, but it has like 5 or 6 different lines, and so when you take the, let's say like this bottom line that Garrett has right now, and let's say I wanted to right click on that bottom line and make it like
you're talking
3
about this line?
inches. No, the
Or are you talking
one,
about this one right here?
sure. Just grab
Okay.
that one. Yeah. So if you were to right click on that one and go down where it says create new parallel guides, and he clicks relative to guide.
Okay.
And then you hit select new guide.
Select new
Right
guide. Oh,
underneath the
okay.
number 1. And then let's
Okay.
say you want it below it, you would hit negative. So if I wanted it like 2 inches below it, it would be like -2.
Okay, so position offset, I change that number to -2. So that's going to
Yep.
put it -2 inches from the existing guideline I just clicked over.
You got it. And then hit create new guide.
And there it is right here.
And there it is. So this is great for aligning words, because I know a lot of people, they try to get like, very specific spacing in between lines when you're your lettering or whatever it is you're trying to align. This is so nice. So when you're working with the positive, going up, it's your positive numbers, and down low, it's your negative numbers. So I love
And
that.
right
Quick
is
little tip.
positive and left is negative. Yep. And
Got it.
just to say you have a lot of guidelines on there, and you're like, I can't, it's getting hard to see your drawing. Kate talked about this right up in the corner of the scales. There's this little crosshair right there. If you click that, it turns all the guides off.
Oh,
And
your
then you can
mouse is
click
a
it
little
again.
delayed.
Okay. Well, I clicked it and it turns all the guides off. So are the guides gone now?
Yeah, they're all gone, but your mouse looks like it's still in the gray area. So go ahead
Oh,
and move
okay.
it up
I'm
to
in the
where.
it's up on the thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically where the two scales meet, there's a little crosshair, and you can
Yes.
click that crosshair, and that will turn your guidelines on and off, so you can get them out of your way. And I believe you can lock guidelines in place too.
Mm-hmm.
Lock
Yep.
guide right there.
Yep, right there up there in the middle.
Yep. That
Yep.
way you can't accidentally drag it around. So I just locked this guideline, or was it this one? Maybe I didn't.
I don't think you had one
Oh,
selected,
okay, close.
or
So
maybe you
this,
didn't save it.
okay. And you can tell now what guideline is locked. I locked the one that is the second from the bottom, and it's just slightly
Yeah.
faded
It's
out.
faint. Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of like fade when they're locked.
Yep. Guidelines are awesome.
Very, very nice. Hopefully somebody found that very helpful, because I know when I discovered them, I was just like, well, that would have been handy to have like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so let's move on to some more comments here. So we've got JSE. Looks like they just got a long mill. Very
Yes,
nice.
it
How
just arrived.
exciting.
Oh, new creator about to get going. Just got to build the thing, put it together.
Yay.
That's part of the fun. Yes, I can't wait to see what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, all right. So let's see. Michael, I think he is talking about Fusion. An Autodesk/Fusion employee told me they were considering developing test cuts to try and help dial in machine acceleration, deceleration, and wrap rates that better estimates cut times. That would be so nice. That would be so
Yeah,
nice. I hope Vectric does
yeah,
something like that too.
yeah. That would be quite nice.
Yeah. So there's a comment from Kenny. He is asking the group, so if you all have done anything with a diamond drag bit on a painted aluminum cards, give Mr. Kenny a shout over on the YouTube side. And if you know and you're in Facebook, head over to the IDC Woodcraft and find him in the comments over there.
Yeah.
Hey, I see Cody's popped on.
Hey,
And
Cody, what's going on? I was hoping you'd show up, brother. Next week we are talking. We are talking. So
very cool.
Bill said he didn't get an email this alert this time for the live. I don't send email alerts out for the lives, only because I don't want to pollute inboxes.
It's a good call. Good call. And I don't know if most of you know, but Cody is the owner of Cadence Manufacturing, and he has a line of bits that he also sells. And he is it the down cut? Is it the Groovy, Jenny? That's the down cut bit that's really great for sign making. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, the
So.
Groovy Jenny is it's a down cutting V bit.
V bit. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I want to try that. I want to try it really bad, because
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome. Since I work with Aura Mask so much, and I've like tried to perfect the Aura Mask situation, and sometimes I just get so frustrated with it because it's not necessarily the bits, it's the material and the application and the paint and the sanding and everything. And I just want to try that downcut V bit to see what kind of difference that makes.
Yeah, as a tooling company myself, and number one, Cody and I talk quite a bit, although we haven't talked a whole lot lately. He's been busy, I've been busy. He's an entrepreneur like me. He's got the entrepreneurial mindset. So he's come up with that 60-degree downcutting V-bit, and I'm a company. I do a lot of my own design work on the bits. I mean, I have my tooling companies do it. But when I see a product that works, it's like, okay, I'm going to be sourcing that and branding that with IDC as well, right? So
yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, are you just letting the cat out of the bag there over there, Garrett, or what are you doing?
I'm telling Cody we're going to be talking.
Very good. Very good.
Cody right now is sitting. He's cracking a smile. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, Cody, we're going to get you off the hot seat.
All right. Well, if you're not familiar with Cody, go check him out. Cadence Manufacturing. He does some fantastic things with some great bits. Give him some love. He's a fantastic human being. All
Here's
right.
something. I want to share something on this. Okay.
Yeah.
So many people in business view each other as competitors, right? And you
Very
could
true.
technically say someone like Cody and I are direct competitors. But as a business owner, I want everybody to grow. And I never see myself in competition with anybody. Right. So, and
Yeah.
Cody and I have talked about this, right? We don't compete. We want each other to win. We want each other to win more than we want ourselves to win. That's the kind
Yes.
of spirit that as a business owner, you want to always embrace. You want everyone else to win. And the more you help them get there, the better you do.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to give you an exact example of this, okay? Because think about all the CNC'ers that are out there. There is
Mhm.
enough for everyone to go around to make any one particular person more money than they would need in a lifetime. So
Yeah.
there was this one Facebook girl. I loved her signs. She had some really unique signs. She was doing DIY paint parties. She was killing it. And so I reached out to her on Facebook Messenger and I said, "Hey, I love your work." I was very complimentary of, her and her group and how she was doing things. And I said, "I just have one question. I'm a sign maker as well. And I have a good following, but I'm wondering how you go about handling this." And her response to me was the most horrific thing I think I've ever heard from another business human being. She said, "Oh, you're our competition. We don't share secrets with the competition." And I was like, "Sister, I don't see you as competition. There are enough damn people to buy signs from to make the
Hmm.
world go around." I'm like, you can't just like if you reached out to me and said, "Hey, I like what you're doing with your CNC, how do you go about doing this application?" I would tell you in a heartbeat. I'm not going to
Hmm.
keep that all bottled up. I just thought that was really rude. And my girlfriend was like, "Hey, do you want to go here and do something there?" I said, "No, absolutely not. I would not support her in a heartbeat because that is just tacky. This is bad
Yep.
business."
And that also talks to mindset, right? The
Yeah.
mindset of I got this wall up. The world is a hostile world. If I help people, they're going to screw me, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and so that person will always have a threshold or a ceiling that they can never reach because
Yeah.
they view competition as threatening and what have you. Excellent
Yeah.
mind discussions tonight when it comes to
Yeah.
business. I hope those who are watching and listening can kind of absorb this. You're never in competition. Like Kate said,
Mhm.
in the U.S. alone, there's 330 million people, and every one of them buy something almost every single day.
Mhm. Yes.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I could get outside of my little, like these crazy fire dancers that I make, they go all over the US. And there are thousands of Dave Matthews Band groups of people that make all kinds of things. If somebody else started making what I would be making, I'd be like, "Thank you, because I'm only one human being. Thank you. Uh, thank you for the help. I appreciate you.
All right.
Let's share secrets. How can we make this go faster?" Um, okay. Anyway, let's see. Uh, Ellen said thank you. She's responding to I gave her a shout out earlier about being a moderator in her group. She's fantastic. Love her.
Excellent.
Let's see. So Chris said, "Is there a test file you can run?" This is at 8:21. I'm sorry. Is there a test file you can run with hand over e-stop for dialing in bit versus material? Hmm.
Is there a
Think
test file
so?
you can run with hand over e-stop? Please don't wreck for dialing in bit versus material. There are some people who have files out there that um, well, okay, I'm thinking the wrong thing. I'm thinking of V-bit gauge files, right? So you can tell the depth of the V-bit and how wide it is. But I have not heard of anything like that. Um, Normally, what I do is I will set up a line at a certain feed rate, and I'll just regenerate. I'll go back into the code. It'll cut the line, and if it was like, oh, what was there a piece of wood there? That kind of thing from the machine. Then I'll go into the code and I'll just change the feed rate, and I'll bring it up,
Yeah.
move the line over. Right. I don't know of anything that is going to work for that, Chris.
Yeah.
But
That's kind of
but
how I did the beast video when I did the trial on my YouTube channel. I did a beast test run, and I kind of had to do the same thing. You just, like I said, hand over e-stop, just, wait to figure it out. So
yeah. And speaking of that, Kate has a YouTube channel too. You may want to subscribe to her YouTube channel. Rise and Shines
right
Wood
on.
Signs. Yeah, there you go.
Ta-da! No, just kidding. All right. Let's see. Um, Christian, I can't remember. I'm so sorry. He says he is using,
Black
I'm using
acrylic.
black acrylic, but I can't remember what we were talking about. My brain's scrambled at the moment. If I think about that, we'll come back to it.
We were talking about PVC and HDPE and acrylic and ACM and what was that? ACRE.
No, that
So
was
I don't know.
Wade. That was Wade. I think he
I
might
don't
have been
remember.
talking about using the drag bit. I think he was
Oh,
talking
okay.
about engraving. I think he was talking
Okay.
about doing engraving, and he's using the black acrylic.
Okay.
So
Interesting. So I'm assuming you can. I don't know if it's opaque or is it translucent. Interesting.
I don't know. Okay, so we've got at 822 JSE says brand new to the scene, getting set for my first carves tomorrow. I hope. I have a startup bit from IDC Woodcraft or IDC, but should I get some cheaper bits to learn on? Well, I know what Garrett would say, but as someone who is not the owner of a bit company, it all depends on you. It depends on if you think that you have a good handle on like your knowledge and the feeds and the speeds. I think you'll be fine with your IDC Woodcraft bits. Um, you know, I had some really cheap Amazon bits, and I think the biggest difference that I noticed was I was very conservative. Okay, so let's just put that out there right now. I was very conservative with my feeds and speeds, but the biggest thing that I noticed is the quality of the cut. You get what you pay for. Hands down, that's God's honest truth. You get what you pay for. If you're looking, you're going to get a really good carve and you're using some cheapo, Amazon bits, you know, it is what it is. If you're just learning, you can definitely get some cheaper bits and you just kind of want to like see what they do and, get a feel for them. You can definitely do that. I think I did that in the very beginning, but that's before I discovered Garrett's bits. So it all depends on you and what you wanted. As soon as I put his bits in the system or in my system, in my CNC router, I noticed a huge difference in the quality of the cut and in the wood, whether it was birch or it was pine or whatever it was. I was getting a better quality cut and I wasn't having to do as much cleanup work. So, it's all about personal preference and
Yeah.
where you are, if you're just like playing around or if you're actually doing something for like a paying customer.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. I agree. I don't object to getting cheap bits. You
yeah,
will the cuts will suffer. But if you're just doing it, okay, I don't even know how this thing's going to react. Yeah, go for it. Buy that $5 set of radius bits. I bought them.
yeah. I mean, we don't know what we don't know, so that's kind of God's honest truth. Madra, she says, once you go IDC, you don't go back to crap.
Thank you. What a nice little
Yep.
feather in my hat. Oh, by the
Yeah,
way, for those of you who have been leaving reviews on Google for IDC Woodcraft, thank you very much. I've been getting some wonderful, wonderful reviews,
that's
and
awesome.
yeah, very, very cool.
Very nice. Okay, so let's see. We've got David here. assuming cost not being a barrier, spindle versus router on a benchtop CNC. Does the spindle offer enough advantages to justify? It depends is a given. Just your general thoughts.
It depends is a given.
Yeah. I'll let you take this one. I've been doing a lot of talking tonight.
Okay. There's a couple things. Well, number one is the sound that's generated. So the trim routers are always going to make more noise. You're going to get the sound from the wood no matter what, but the actual machine itself, the spindles generally are quieter. Spindles are heavier, so they absorb a lot more mass, and but also depending on the machine that you have, right? If you've got kind of a lightweight machine, it may not hold up well to the spindle. When you have more mass, you can actually throw vibration into the spindle, and that will come back into the cut. It's kind of weird because mass absorbs vibration, but if you don't have the structure to dissipate that vibration, then it'll just vibrate back into, the machine will just vibrate and make really cheesy, choppy cuts.
Yeah.
The spindles are generally more durable, right? Well, not generally, they are more durable. They're going to hold up. They have
Sure.
better
Yes.
bearings on them. The tighter tolerance. They're put together much better than trim routers are.
Yeah.
In their
Agreed.
design. I think that a lot of spindles, I'm not that versed on spindles, but I think like the Makita trim router has a bit higher velocity, like 27,000 RPMs. Some spindles can get up to 30,000 and over, but there are some spindles that can't get up to maybe 20. So those are some of my answers. Is it worth it? If you're running your machine a lot, it is kind of worth it. Joe Lazara, our buddy Joe, he is actually working. Okay, this is your classic guy who's jumped in knowing absolutely nothing. He's not on tonight, but Joe decided to go for the long mill, and he knew nothing. Zero, and he was the first to say it. I am so stupid at this, but now he has gotten to a point in about a year. He is now working with a spindle company who wants to get that spindle onto the long mill, and so he's being a guinea pig. He's learning. He's going for it. He's diving in.
That's so awesome. I love stories like that.
It is.
I love stories like that. All right, so we've had a little chatter in the comments, which is fantastic. I'm so glad you guys are helping each other out. But one comment struck me. Mark, brother, you broke your hog bit using the long mill. I have to know, what on earth are you cutting? Goodness gracious, to break the hog bit. You have to tell us more.
What's the timestamp?
It is 8:25.
Oh, I'm way back. 8:25. Broke your hog bit on the project. Well, send me an email and tell me what you were doing.
Yeah.
Send an email to Garrett@idcwoodcraft.com. Tell me what you're doing, and we'll get that bit replaced for you.
There you go. All right. So we've got right underneath it says CJT. Greetings all from Florida. Well, hello.
Hello.
I have to say, your CJT, I love that. It reminds me of my one of my older sons. His name is Chandler James Tucker. So when I saw CJT, I'm like, oh, I know those initials. All right, let's see. Steve Bradley at 8:26. He says, I'd like to make a vacuum table for my open builds lead 1515, but seems like it would be expensive and a PIA, a pain in the
ass.
Yeah. Pain in the butt.
Vac tables are cool. That's building your own vac table. I can't even give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I never built a vac table. So, yeah. But I did watch a couple videos where people have done it. I think you'll be doing a lot of work to do it. I mean, the joy is in actually building it.
Are you passionate about it or not? Those are the questions you need to ask. All right. So Wade is, Jen, here's a comment for you from Wade. Says, I worked without homing for 3 years. I still run one of my machines that way, but there are advantages to homing. If you home on some machines, you can run a fixed position probe for measuring tools. Well, there you go.
Mm.
How about that? All right,
Yeah.
so we've got
So
Burn Studio.
I
Oh,
want to
sorry, go
explain
ahead.
what he just said. No, I want to explain what he just said. This is an
Yeah,
interesting thing.
absolutely.
Yeah, some CNC routers will have a probe mounted to it where the machine can come over and touch that probe. And if you use the homing sequence on a machine, then that homing sequence, and then you change it, you set up your bit based on the homing position. You
Okay.
can run a tool probe cycle, and it will know exactly where that probe's at based on that home position.
Oh,
Does that make
that's
sense?
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, and
100%.
that can automate a little bit, but it's only for the Z.
Oh, that's still, I mean, that's pretty cool.
All right.
That would be nice. I wonder if the Elite Onefinity has something like that. That would be kind of cool. All right, let's see. We have the Burn Studio at 832. Says, trying to create toolpaths for designs modeled from PNG files. Made files in Silhouette Create for my vinyl printer. Just so you know, Silhouette is kind of like a Cricut, like the smaller vinyl cutters. Silhouette Create for my vinyl printer. The only way I can do so is a 3D rough pass and a finish pass, which takes forever. Toolpaths for designs created from PNG files. Okay, so a couple of things. When you're doing a PNG file and you're bringing it into Vectric, you need to basically trace that bitmap, and it's got to be a vector. So that's the first thing that you want to do. The only way I can do, I think he means to say is the only thing that they can do is a 3D rough and a finish pass. So unless you're doing an actual 3D STL file, you should not be messing with the 3D rough and the 3D finish pass. If you want to send me a email, it's in the comments. YouTube's up top or down below?
In the description. It's in the description. Facebook above, YouTube down below.
Okay.
Kate's contact information.
Yeah, send me an email and we can chat more about this because this is a little bit more in depth. I think you're just a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they said in their next comment, because I think there's only 200 characters allowed, so they sent a second comment out there. I tried to pocket V-carves pass, but errors keep saying nothing is selected. I know 3D rope, clip art, 3D stars, and 3D toolpaths, but for stripes and removal of bulk material, I know there's a more efficient way. Yes, there is. Yeah, shoot me an email. We'll talk about it. And we'll go from there. And you are welcome, Brady. Absolutely.
All right. Okay, and everybody who's watching right now, first of all, if you are new, welcome. This is we do this every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Kate and I come on, and once in a while, we're going to bring somebody on that you probably know or hopefully know. I want to grab Mark Lindsay, and also Kate runs the CNC group on Facebook, Women Who CNC. So if you are a lady getting into CNC, you want to join that, find that group and join it. And then, of course, I have CNC Entrepreneurs and the IDC Woodcraft YouTube channel. Kate has her own Rise and Shine Wood Signs YouTube channel. IDC Woodcraft, Router Bits. You probably already know that. And there's a bunch of links and information above in Facebook, in the description, and down below in YouTube. If you're brand new to the Vectric software, I am putting out a beginner's video. It's an hour and 45 minutes long.
Oh, that's a lot of editing. That just makes me like,
Oh, I know.
Sitting in my chair, just thinking about it, like, oh, that just sounds painful.
Some people say the video is way too long, but there's so many people that appreciate because I literally explain everything, and it's not easy when you're brand new. I mean, it's got to be explained in multiple different ways, right? So that they
Yeah.
get it. So be watching for that. But also, I would recommend if you're using the Vectric software, just get in Kyle's course. You'll learn that stuff. Learn your CNC. I got links above and down below.
You
All
got
right,
it.
and we're here every Wednesday, so we are at 9:30 now. We have only made it to 8:30, almost 8:40. So let's try to knock out a few more of these, and then we'll head to.
All right.
I do
Oh my
want to jump
gosh.
ahead though and see if people gave an idea of prices.
Yes. All right. Well, you do that. I lost my spot here. Oh, okay. So Dave Atchison, he says, he's from Iowa. Just wanted to say thanks for the bit set. I haven't gotten brave enough to try the 1/8 inch bits yet, but soon. Still green. My favorite part of CNC is doing carvings. Love watching a plain chunk of wood come to life.
Oh,
Yes,
that's yes.
we all
Good.
do
What a
that.
good way of putting it. What a good way of putting it. All
Yes,
right, so
absolutely.
some people have put in their thoughts on how much something like this would cost.
Okay.
If you had a finished product. So this is extremely detailed carving of a dragon, Chinese dragon,
Yes.
and it took 9 hours to carve. It's done on maple, and so earlier we were talking about what would that cost? How much would you charge? So uh, Mark said $300. Jack in the shop, who I guess has shown up late. Jack, what's the deal, man? He's here, but Jack's here. He said $1,500. Um,
Yeah.
Ellen said 500. Joe said 600 plus. Chris said 1,500 to 2,000. Tim said 600. So we're getting some good numbers. I like that you guys are thinking in these numbers levels.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the idea is to when it's finished properly, is to find the market that's going to pay $2,000, $1,500 to $2,000 or something like that. What I
Absolutely.
like about the numbers that I'm seeing is that these are higher, the financial mindsets of people, right?
Hmm.
We got to think who are the people that are going to pay for it? Those ones we got to go find. I would never put something like that on Etsy because it would sell for $100, right? Um, yeah, but if I
Yeah.
found the right market, find the right demographic, I could sell it for $2,000.
Yeah.
It's
I want to
all
give you
in the
guys,
market. Go ahead.
yeah. So I have some friends of ours. They're building a beautiful lake house. People on lake houses, if they have a regular home and a lake home, they're probably doing okay in life. So let's just say this sign back here I made. Pardon my sweatshirt there, but it says their name and it has the year they built the home and it says life is better on the lake. How much do you think? And that's getting a frame, by the way. I just haven't put the frame on it yet. But like, what do you think I would sell that for?
Are you asking me? Or are you
Yeah,
asking?
yeah. It's a
Out
it's a uh,
$400.
yep,
Excellent. Excellent. She's
yep,
learning. Yes. You go, Kate.
yep.
Okay.
So
But I'm just
actually,
go
yeah.
ahead.
But when you put a high quality product out there and the right people and you market to the right people within your niche of people, you will learn you will learn a lot better. I had a one customer today, $1,000 sale. So because that's what that's what they wanted. It's custom. They know me for my work, and that's okay. And it's not anything super elaborate, but it's that right market, that right sweet spot where you know where you want to be is, and once you're in like Flynn, and you're golden. That's all you
Yep.
need.
And
So
half the sale. There's another one for you to write down, Kate. Kate. They're also buying you.
yeah, yep, absolutely. because they know me for my work. They know me for my integrity. They know me because I'm honest and I tell them exactly what that's for. I always like to tell people up front, the price that you're paying is not just for the material. I want you to think about that for a minute. You're thinking about for my expertise that I've taken the time to learn. I've taken the time for, how to do this process to make sure that the product is exactly how you want it. You're paying for my design time, the things that I'm doing to create this for specifically for you, because I can't use this, I can't recreate this for someone else. So try to put that into your clients' heads a little bit when you're talking and when you're saying, yeah, I'll write you up a quote, because from a customer standpoint, they're literally just thinking about wood, stain, paint. They're not thinking about your computer time. They're not thinking about your bits. They're not thinking about your CNC and the electric and all the other power tools and the planer and all the other steps that it takes to get there. So when you're doing that, make sure that you talk to your clients and you're very clear about the process that it kind of entails a little bit. You don't have to go into like mad detail, but be sure to tell them that they're paying you for your time and your expertise, because that is truly where it comes from. And that's where that price is coming from, because they're paying for your skills and your very specific thing that you can do for them. So you have to know your worth. There's a mentoring session on that. Maybe you should go watch that. It's so true. It's so true. Okay, let's see. I know you said we need to grab a few more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conversation about the vacuum table. So if anybody wants to get engaged in that conversation on the YouTube side, help some fellas out.
Scroll ahead a little bit. Paul, you said your long mill table is complete. You sent me some pictures, so I will check that out.
Oh my gosh, I have to laugh a little bit here. So Two Elm Builds says, or she, I'm not sorry, whoever, I think I've watched your YouTube channel. You guys have some really cool stuff, but I can't remember if it's a man or woman. My apologies. Says, I had a cabinet maker tell me my CNC isn't woodworking. 2 weeks later, he was asking me to help him with a custom project.
You should have told him I'm not a woodworker. I don't know what to do.
I have no words for that. I'd have been like, absolutely. What can my CNC and I can do for you?
Yeah.
Just been like,
boy, touche. Maybe remind them, well, just kind of blow it off. There's always that one out there that says CNC isn't woodworking. CNC doesn't take skill. It's just push a button and go. But again, who cares?
Ryan. Yes, Ryan. Ryan, that's who it is. Okay. Steve, he was talking about our class. If we had like a class for beginners for CNC, he said he would 100% take that class. Wonderful.
All right. Great. We got one. We got one almost signed up.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Dan's making fun of our winter because, he's from Canada and they have true winter.
They do.
Their winter is like our, I don't know. Our winter is like their fall.
Yeah.
So, Neon says, hello, Garrett and Kate. Hope you two have been well. Okay, so let's see. I think this is a really great question for a lot of people. So Wayne at 849, he is talking about trying to save a toolpath in Vectric, but he couldn't find the G sender on the post processor list. Didn't even have GRBL.
Didn't have GRBL. So G-Sender itself is not going to be in the post. You won't find the word G-Sender and you won't find long mill in the post. What you will find is, but if you couldn't find GRBL, then what you can do is you can actually get that off of the long mill website. But the post, you won't be able to read my screen if I did it anyway. But I can tell you what the post says. The name of the post is GRBL, and they got an inch and millimeter, and then it's a G code extension. So in parentheses, it's going to be star.g code. So it's
Good to know.
there. Yeah. But if you can't find that in the list, I've got a video to how to find. Well, it's got to be in the Vectric post processor. If I was going to add a new one, if you add a new post processor, this window's going to pop up, and you'll have a list at the bottom. And you can hit the little plus sign, and that'll open up all the post processors in the Vectric software. And there's a lot of them. But they'll be in alphanumeric order. So if it's not in there, then go to the Longmill website and ask them.
There you go.
Or you can search on their website and get that
good.
post. It's a pretty basic post.
Yeah. All right. I think this is really. I think we've got some really great conversations going on tonight. So Tim Adams at 8:53. He's talking to you. Talk about a newbie thinking too big out of the gate or thinking too small. I'm thinking big, but getting feedback from friends and family telling me I've lost my mind. Do not listen to them. Right. We've all lost our minds.
Yeah, you're on a journey for you, right? Nobody can dictate unless we let them how our lives are going to run.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's uncomfortable when people are close to you and you're getting ready to do some stuff. So what I'm guessing here is he wants to buy a big machine. He wants to get maybe a Phantom here or something, right? And people are going, "Oh, you've never done this before." But you know what? My favorite cliche is standing on the high dive, looking down at the pool, and there's no water in it, and say, "Screw it, I'm jumping anyway," trusting that water's going to be there when you get down. Right at that point, you have no choice but to create that water in some way, shape, or form. And when you commit to that, the universe, God, whatever, is going to line up all the resources behind you that's going to help you get there. So too big or too small. Kate, what are your thoughts? This is a good one to wrap up on tonight.
Yeah,
what are your
absolutely.
thoughts? And I'll give you my thought.
Man, I have so many thoughts. I have so many thoughts about this. The people, friends and family, this makes them uncomfortable because you are growing personally. You have ideas, you have thoughts, you have boundaries that you are wanting to push. You are willing to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That is exactly what you are doing right now. And people do not like to be made uncomfortable, especially our friends and our family, because that means that we are growing. And not that they don't want to see us grow up. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they are comfortable with who we are as a person within certain confines. And when we start to grow and expand, we are pushing back, we are pushing boundaries. That might mean less time for you in the yard or less time for, to be at a kid's baseball game. Not that those things aren't important and relevant, because trust me, as a mother, I 100% get that. But I have made a commitment to my business. We all have that are running successful businesses, and certain things we have to sacrifice and we have to do in order to grow. So I'll give you an example. Tonight, my daughter had her very first soccer game, high school soccer game, but it was a scrimmage, and it's pouring down rain. I had 5,000 things to do here in the shop, and then I ran in and I was trying to make dinner and get ready for tonight. I told my daughter, I said, "I love you. You know I'm always there for you, but I have a commitment I've made to myself tonight that I have to get these things done in order for us to go do fun things later in the week." And she was like, "Okay, I understand." So you kind of have to retrain your brain and retrain your mind, your mindset. How bad do I really want this? And you really have to get uncomfortable. And it's like, yeah, it's like you're pushing boundaries within yourself, and it's not easy. It's not easy for your friends and family, the people that you trust and you love the most, to hear that from them, that you've lost your damn mind, that's okay. I don't have you ever met anybody that hasn't lost their mind? Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've lost my mind a long time ago, but here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
But okay, that was
I
great,
love
Kate.
this stuff.
Yeah, you hit it on the head because you get it now, right? It's
Yeah.
if you got a pull to just dive in and go for it, thinking big is always, And my other favorite saying, and you might have heard this, right, is shoot for the stars, and you might, at least you might hit the moon.
Mhm.
That's not big thinking to me. I'm shooting for the center of the galaxy so I can hit a few stars, right? I think really big, right? So
Yeah. He
thinking,
does.
thinking, yeah, thinking small. Um, go big, go big. Think
Yep.
big, and if you get the pull, this is your life. This is your life, not theirs. No matter how close they are to you, we are sovereign beings, and this is our life to do what we determine
Yeah.
is right for us, not what the rest of the world's determining, even how close they are. And Kate was right on the money. When the closer they are, the less they want you to change. They want you to win, but the less they want you to change. Because if you change, you have to leave some things about you behind that they are
Yes.
comfortable with, and that makes them
Yes.
uncomfortable.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
very good question. Think
Yep.
big, brother, big.
Yep.
Kate's
And you know
getting there.
what?
She's. You're thinking. You're starting to get there.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie. I texted Garrett here, I don't know, what was it, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. We were talking about it, and I said, all right, I finally had a break. I had to have a come to Jesus meeting with my husband, and I had to have a come to Jesus meeting with my kids. And I'm like, look, we're going into busy season. I've been, playing it low key for the summer, trying to be here with you guys and be present and do all that good stuff. But busy season is upon us. You get toilets, you get the windows, you get the vacuum cleaner. We're gonna make this house go round and round because Mama's got shit to do. So, you know, I mean, you got to work together as a team. You have to want it, and you need to get your family behind you, because if you don't have your family behind you, or your spouse or whoever, it's just going to create a rift. So be open and honest with your family and tell them that these are your passions, these are your dreams, and they will respect you for that, and they will love you for that, and they will support you. And that is what you need more than anything when you're trying to start a new business. So there you
And
go.
if they can't love you and support you, sometimes we have to create distance. Yeah, and that's not always the easy part either. Letting go of people that we love because we got to fulfill our dreams. They'll adapt or they won't.
Yep. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they will.
Yeah. All right.
So,
What a great thing to end up with. So
yeah.
we are we're at hour it's 9:47. So Kate and
Yes.
I have to check out. So brothers and sisters, we missed a lot of questions, statements, and hellos and what have you. But thank you for showing up again. And until
Yes.
next Wednesday, we'll be here, and I'm going to work on getting Mark Lindsay on board.
Yes, that'd be
And getting him
fantastic.
to drop in
He's
and say
awesome.
hi. Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
guys. Have a
We'll
good
talk
week.
to
We'll
you
see
later.
you next Wednesday.